Cześć, it's Dorota. Welcome to Polish with Dorota. I have a question. How do you say thank you in Polish? Dziękuję. Dziękuję. And how would you write this word? Not like that. Not like that. We write dziękuję like this. D, Z, I, E with a tail, K, U, J, and another E with a tail. But why so many Polish learners and sometimes Polish people write dziękuję with N inside? Because we actually pronounce the first E with a tail as N in this word. Dziękuję, dziękuję. And it is normal and natural. At the end of the word, the E with a tail can be pronounced simply as E or as a soft nasal E. Dziękuję, dziękuję. But not like working with your jaw. No, not dziękuję. No. This is incorrect and actually very pretentious. In my last video, you've learned how to pronounce on, another nasal vowel. Today you will learn how this letter, the letter N, is pronounced. Also, it is pronounced in 5 different ways depending on the context, on another letter actually. When we spell this letter, we spell it N. And this is nasal E. You just need to say E and use your nose. N. It has nothing to do with your jaw, so don't do the cow thing. No, it's simply with your nose. N. And this is one of possible ways to pronounce this letter. It is pronounced like this when it is followed by these letters. Let me give you some examples. Mięso, mięso. Męża, męża. Gęś, gęś. Gęsi, gęsi. Węch, węch. Więź, więź. Gałęzie, gałęzie. As I told you before, this letter N can be pronounced as a nasal E, also at the end of the word. But actually, most of Polish people pronounce N at the end of the word simply as E, and it is correct. According to most of the linguists, the letter N at the end of the word can be pronounced either as E, simply E, like dziękuję, proszę, or it can be pronounced as soft nasal E, which is N. Dziękuję, proszę. So very delicate. Not dziękuję, but dziękuję, proszę. Very, very soft. There are some more conservative linguists who say, no, this letter at the end of the word should be pronounced only as a nasal E. The pronunciation of E is incorrect. Actually, in my opinion, most of Polish people, also professors, teachers, educated people, they pronounced "n" at the end of the word simply as "e", which is actually correct to most of the linguists. This is a debatable point actually, and that's why I will leave you some links in the description box where you can find what linguists say about pronunciation of this particular letter at the end of the word. I suggest though that you pronounce letter "n" at the end of the word as "e". Dziękuję. Proszę. Robię. This is natural. But please remember to write the tail at the end. You don't have to pronounce it, but you need to write it. So now you know we can pronounce this letter as "n", nasal "e", when it's followed by these letters, or at the end of the word, but also at the end of the word it is fine just to say "e". But there are different ways to pronounce this letter, and if "n" is followed by P and B, we pronounce it as M. M. For example, zęby, zęby, następny, następny. Very often we pronounced "n" as "n", but your tongue can be in different positions depending what kind of letter sound follows "n". So for example, when "n" is followed by D or T, it is pronounced as "n", and the tip of your tongue is just right behind your teeth. For example, będę, będę, zajęty, zajęty. When "n" is followed by dz, c or czy, we pronounce it as "n" as well, but your tongue is closer to your palate, like pieniędzy, pieniędzy, miesięcy, miesięcy, zmęczony, zmęczony. Really, this last word, many times I've seen written with "n" when my students was giving me homework. This is why we pronounce it this way. This is why we say zmęczony with "n", but we write it like that. And before we go further, you know why pronunciation is so important, don't you? It is important because if you pronounce the words incorrectly, you will not be understood. You can know a lot of vocabulary, you can know grammar, but if you say something and people will say, "What? No, it's not a Polish word," but then you will feel unmotivated, you will feel frustrated. That's why it's very important that you practice pronunciation and that you have someone to correct you over and over again. Of course, it's the best if it is a good teacher. Where to find one? At my online school. If you would like to practice your pronunciation, if you would like to learn Polish seriously, if you would like to learn how Polish language works, just contact me. We will meet on a free consultation. I will check your level, I will find the best group for you, and you will learn Polish in a nice, friendly atmosphere with a teacher who will correct you and who will tell you also that if "n" is followed by G or K, it's also pronounced as "n", but then the end of your tongue is lifted. It's somewhere there. This sound is produced somewhere at the back of your mouth. The example was in the beginning of the video. Dziękuję. Dziękuję. Another one, Węgry. Węgry. When N is followed by G or ci, it is pronounced as eń. Będzie. Będzie. Spędzić. Spędzić. Pięć. Pięć. Pamięci. Pamięci. I told you before that N at the end of the word can be pronounced as e, simply as e. It is pronounced always as e when it is followed by w, the letter w. It happens only in past tense forms of some specific verbs. These are verbs that end with ąć in infinitive. So examples are wzięłam, wzięłam, zaczęła, zaczęła. Now you know how to pronounce on and n, the nasal vowels, correctly in Polish. There are 5 ways to pronounce on and 5 ways to pronounce n. Here you can see the summary of on and n pronunciation. Was it useful for you? Did you enjoy this video? Then please support my channel. You can do it simply with a donation, link is in the description, or you can buy one of my video courses available on my website, polishwithdorota.pl. Lately, I got great feedback about my 2 courses from Mary. Mary completed Small Talk po polsku and Polish cases system about nominative case, and she said that courses are very good, they were extremely helpful, and she will do all the exercises again to repeat the material. Mary also joined my online school and is learning in a group course, and if you would like to join too, just contact me through the link in the description. Thank you very much for watching and see you in my next videos. Pa pa!